Hi, welcome to EasyWPSeoPlugin.com. When you sign up for subscribing, you get this free SEO workbook. And also, when you get your email, you'll be able to go to this thank you page for subscribing, which you can download this free WordPress zip tool plugin. And once you install that, you've got three main pages on this plugin tool. One is for uploading zip files. Say you've got something from Bolt, or you made some other HTML files as a tool or something, and you want to put them up onto your computer, well, onto your website for other people to be able to see and use and get some benefits out of it. This will help you to do that without having to go to the cPanel. There's a deployment history page that will show you when things are deployed and put out. There's a disclaimer page, which is the normal use at your own risk. You are working within WordPress plugin or WordPress files on your hosting server. So let's go ahead and try this. So we'll go ahead and get a file. We'll choose one of these CC1s. And all this does here, once you pick a file, the site tool, basically it finds your WordPress installation main directory, and then it has a folder called Tools, where if it already exists, it uses it, and then it adds this name here, which is based off of the name of the zip file, which you can make a change to that if you'd like. If you put this to Other, it puts it at the root or the base of your HTML site, so that way, say it's EasyWPSeoPlugin.com/cc1 would be the root, or if I wanted in a tools directory, I just go ahead and use site tool and it puts it in there for me. I'm going to go ahead and upload and deploy it, and it's actually going to download the file and unzip it into place. After it does it, it tells me that it did it. I have a link here that I can click on and it will let me go ahead and try it. And now we're going to look at the deployment history. And this shows that the file, here's the name of the file that was deployed, where it was put at onto your server. Now, I do want you to notice that even though I'm highlighting here and it says home, DB, public HTML, all this other stuff, which is the website of it, hosting path for it, if you look down at the bottom left of the screen, way down here, you'll notice that it goes to the tools CC1 directory. So if I click here, it'll open it up and I can see how that looks. It just opens it to a new tab for me. If I want to take the code of this and take this whole web page and embed it into a WordPress page, I could click here and it says copy HTML, and it actually put it into my clipboard. And what that does is basically makes it to where now if I go to paste it, say I do a new post, it'll end up being something that I can modify that if I want to, or use it however I want to. This tells you when you deployed it, and then there's action buttons. Delete deletes the zip file as well as the directory and the tool that you deployed. This lets you download the zip file. So if you have multiple versions of this, say I deployed it again, it'll actually make a new copy of it. Well, not a new copy, it'll upload a new copy to the server and deploy that for you. And you can put it in the same spot or a different spot. And it'll overwrite files that already exist if you do that. This lets you see what's actually inside the zip file. So here's the zip file, and then these are the files that are inside. There's an index.html, a script, and a style. Now, going to a directory on a website, you normally want to see an index.html or an index.php or index.htm. Those are all things that are normal for browsers to use in order to see files or see programs in the system. This button lets you undeploy, which just means it removes the files, but it leaves the zip file here. So if we were to do that, it'll actually give you a warning. If I tell it OK, notice that it did it, and then down here, this is no longer clickable because it's not in that directory anymore. So if I wanted to redeploy this, I would need to download it and then go ahead and tell it to upload again. One thing I wanted to show you real quick was files. So this is, oh, sorry about that. So when you look at files, normally these are the type of files that you expect to see on a website per se. The index is the one that the browser uses, and then the index file itself actually calls these other files inside to help change the way the display looks and stuff like that. If you get something from Bolt, it'll usually have a zip file with a project folder, and then inside the project folder, you'll have all these other files, which can get confusing. So what I would recommend is when you use Bolt, get the files that you need and make a new zip file. The easiest way to do that is unzip the Bolt file and then pick the files that you want. Like for instance, I'm just giving you a fair warning, the .ht access file here can cause problems, so you don't really want that one. We do need the index.html, index.js. It doesn't hurt anything to have it. The preview is okay to have. And then usually the script.js and style.css, those are things that you would need. In this .php one, because this is an upscale tool, it's needed in this example that I'm giving you. So get all those. If we highlight all those and then right click and tell it to compress to zip file, it will make a new zip file for me. And I can call this upscale.zip. And now this is something I could put onto the website, and it'll just have those files without the extra ones and stuff that I don't need that come along with the Bolt stuff, just to kind of clean that up. So let's go ahead and try that. So we'll choose the file, and it's actually under this one. There's project, and here's that upscale.zip file. And we'll go ahead and let it be a tool for the site and deploy that. We can test it here by clicking on this link. And hey, it works. Pretty cool. Okay, and we do another one. We'll go ahead and find the C2 file instead this time. And we'll let that be a site tool, and go ahead and just upload and deploy that one. And that's done. And we can test it, or we can go look at the deployment history. Here's the deployment history. Notice it still has that other one from before. Because I didn't delete it, I just left the file there. So if I want to download that file, I can download the file. I can look at what's inside the file. The upscale one, same thing. I can look at what's inside that file. Notice it's just the ones that I told it to be in the zip. I can test it. I can get the iframe stuff if I want to do an iframe with it. The benefit of the iframe is I can copy that to the clipboard. And then since I have that iframe code inside of memory, I can go to where I'm adding a new page. And if I go to the text, not the visual, but the text of the HTML page, I could paste it, and you can see this is iframe information. It says where that actual upscale tool is located at, and then it gives a height and width for it, which I could change that if I want to. Just to try this, I'll just go ahead and try to do a preview and let's see what that does. So here's a preview of it, and you can tell that the box here is maybe a little bit too small for this. You can make that bigger. And all we got to do to make that bigger is just to change this. So we'll do width 700 and we'll do height of, let's do 800. And I want to center this, so I'm going to do a center by this other method. I'll just type that in. And we'll go ahead and preview that again. See what that looks like. And here's the page. Notice that the frame that it's in is a lot bigger now. So I could actually make that smaller, probably about half. And that looks pretty good. But then this would be a page that I could let people use and they wouldn't have to go to the tool directly. The benefit of this is now it's also got all the WordPress stuff around it, as far as your headers and footers and all the other goodies that you need. And we're good to go. So hopefully that makes sense what that iframe benefit and purpose is. We'll change this to, let's try 500 for this. And we'll publish that just for fun. And this will be something that is here temporarily and will probably go away. But that kind of gives you the idea of how this works as far as putting that out further. Back to the deployment history, we're able to see the files, we're able to test the files. I do want to show you this other feature of it. So if I get an updated version, say of this cc2.zip file, and I go ahead and open that, and I make it, I'm going to call it cc2b on the directory structure, and I'm going to go ahead and upload and deploy that. What I want to show you is, when you look at the history, is that notice because the cc2.zip already existed, it just went ahead and modified the name that it stores it at and saves it at. So that way you don't lose the original zip version, which means you still can download these and still do things with them if you'd like. So anyway, I hope that makes sense. I hope everybody has a fun time with this. It's a really neat tool, and it keeps you out of having to go all the way to the cPanel to do other things with files or FTP, and this will do that part of it for you. So happy playing with your tools, and I hope that this tool will benefit you. And if you like what you see here and you'd like to see some other free tools show up or tell me about things that you'd like to see, you're welcome to go to this check out more great tools here page, and just be in touch, be on the subscription list, and see you in time. Take care and enjoy.